and welcome to the OnlyBets Sports Podcast with your host SternBets. Hopefully, DrewDelucchi in just a few moments. Wow, March Madness Day 2. This was a great day yesterday. I think our man Drew had a pretty good day himself. What was it, 5-1, Drew? Even if you weren't on the show, you gave it out on our March Madness bracketology show, right?
Yep, 5-1 yesterday for the yesterday games on the bracketology graphic you picked out. I think I have four on there today, but the only one that didn't hit was St. Mary's -2.5. But we talk about the good as well. Of course, I will say there was, the what was it? It was the over. I think we both hit on the over and under for the high point game, which was amazing. And then McNeese plus 11.5, VCU plus 2.5, VCU money line. That was a crazy comeback. And then USF plus 4.5, backdoor covered. St. Louis was never out at plus 3.5. They won by like 35. They absolutely dominated Georgia, and I was very impressed with that. And I think there was one more that I'm missing, but 5-1, that was really good and really amazing.
Yeah, well done. Almost, I think 75% of the model plays that I gave out on the bracket show cash. Thank you, Mike McClure. I think it was a 2-2 on my picks from yesterday. And my NBA play didn't come through. Spurs did have an amazing last minute Wemby shot to win it by 1, but they didn't cover the 9 against the Suns. And then again in the NHL, the Oilers just got absolutely demolished. Didn't see that coming, but I'm looking for a nice little bounce back day for our Friday. Drew, I'm going to give it to you first because March Madness is on everyone's mind. What are some plays that you're looking at today? Maybe you mentioned on the show, maybe they're new. What are we looking forward to?
Yeah, the four plays I have for today are, I believe, on the March Madness model. One starts in about, I believe, 35 minutes. The Santa Clara plus 3.5, and then I'll just run down. Then the Akron plus 7.5. UCF is now plus 5.5, but you got it at plus 6.5, which I got, and then Miami, Florida money line. Talk about this Santa Clara game. Uh, I know we saw St. Mary's at the same division kind of team. Lost to Texas A&M. May be concerned, but I think it shouldn't be concerned. Personally, St. Mary's just wasn't used to the blitz that A&M
They looked
did, and they couldn't.
awful in
Oh yeah,
transition, turnover after
yeah.
turnover.
And if you look at it, their defense was amazing in the half court. Texas A&M couldn't score in the half court at all against St. Mary's. Like most of their points were off turnovers. Like because there was a reason. Like Texas A&M, right? They averaged 88 points per game. They only scored 63. And if St. Mary's had settled down and played like they were supposed to, because they've handled pressure like that before against like Gonzaga and such. So that was very surprising. In my mind, they just weren't poised like I'm used to. And of course, the narrative around them is WCC is not good and this was like, well, I don't necessarily buy that, and that's why I like Santa Clara here. I think this is a really good team, and all I get told, sometimes is that Kentucky's gonna out athlete them, but people don't realize Santa Clara has a bunch of athletes. They're a much better rebounding team than Kentucky. They can match them with size. They have a 7-footer and a Boye. They have more depth than Kentucky because Kentucky's still a little injured. And the Santa Clara plays 7-8 guys. They like to run. They can run with Kentucky as well, and they also have people on their team that can shoot threes. They have amazing guard play, and I just believe in this Santa Clara team because people also forget we just saw St. Louis dominate an SEC team, right? Even though St. Mary's lost, and Santa Clara played the St. Louis team, they lost by 1 point on a neutral court to St. Louis. So Kentucky is not as good of offense, in my opinion, as Santa Clara, and even before the SEC tournament. Kentucky was 1-4, 1-4 in the last 5 coming into the SEC tournament. So if people want to talk about how Santa Clara lost 3 times to Gonzaga, you need to talk about how Kentucky lost 3 times to Florida. So that's what I like for that game. Before I go to Akron, what do you think?
I am all over Santa Clara. I love it. It's probably my second highest bet of the day, next to Kansas, which I have on the halftime by the half, them to win by 7.5. I got them on the spread and the full game. But yeah, this is my second most bet unit wise of the day. I really do like them a lot against Kentucky. I also have personal feelings against Kentucky for blowing it just a season or two ago when they were supposed to go to the final eight, Elite Eight, and then
Yep.
you just blew it in the first or second round. If their shooting is not in, then I don't really know what they're going to be able to do here. So yeah, better
Yeah, I don't
defense.
see how they keep up
Yeah.
with the Broncos if that's the case. And Broncos are a gritty team. They're very well coached too. I'm not a believer in Mark Pope as the head coach of Kentucky. I think he's still carrying some of the pedigree that Calipari had there. And yeah, so um, I'll talk about Akron, then Texas Tech from the second one. Texas Tech, of course, we all know they're out with their best player, JT Toppin, as they have been. Christian Anderson is their second best player expected to play, but he's still battling a growing injury. So I've seen times where they say Christian Anderson's going to play, and then he's all of a sudden game time decision, he doesn't play, or he only plays like 10, 15 minutes. I still love this 7.5. This is too many points. You're giving me like you're literally giving me like close to the deepest three possessions you can get. Akron's a team that can run and run and run with Texas Tech, and they're a gritty defensive team too as well. And hey, we saw someone in the comments, Miami Ohio just beat SMU, so and a lot of people believe Akron is the best in that conference. And I like Akron here to match Tech with 3 for 3. Tech is not as big of a team as people realize they are. They have like one 6'11" guy, and the rest are like 6'6" and 6'7". And Akron is not as big, but they play bigger than they are, like kind of like TCU does. Because TCU's tallest guy is like 6'8". But I feel like they can match 3 for 3 with Tech in this regard. So yeah, I like this.
All right. I have a model play here under 157.5. I think that's just a little bit too much for a team that can play defense. Some questions on Akron. If they do start shooting, that, sure, we might be in trouble, but you can get a pretty high team total here and still cash the under. Um, I guess I'm just going to foreshadow what Mike McClure's pick was today, which was the Akron team total in the first half under 34.5, which was the way that he kind of got the model to kind of play with his his viewpoint of how to play it out against the model. All right, what else you got for us today?
Yeah, the other one I liked, I believe it was. Oh, I don't think it was added to the graphic, but I like Utah State money line a lot over Villanova. I know we kind of like talked about this one. I think you made a put it actually as one of yours, um, or
Yep.
Prince's, I
Yep.
believe.
I
Um,
had it. I
oh,
do
you
like
had it. Perfect.
-1.5. I think that's what I got it at
Yep.
-115. I think I got that in a Monday, and that was a full unit play for me. Yeah, I do like fading Villanova, despite the fact that I pass the school every single day on my way to work.
Yep, and I definitely agree with you or your pick on that. It's just it's nothing against Villanova. I'll say this: Kevin Lillard has done a great job with that team as coaching since Jay Wright left. Like he was a great heir apparent, and honestly, he's overachieving a lot with this team, especially with the injuries. The only teams they really is peer to lose to right this season was St. John's and UConn. They generally would be the other teams. They struggled in the Big East tournament, but I just like Utah State here. I think they're a very, very well coached team. They are not like excellent at one thing, but they're very good at everything. I think their defensive pressure and physicality may be a little too much for Villanova. I can kind of see. I can kind of see Utah State coming out kind of like what A&M did, come out full court pressing, as I would like to do, and try to force turnovers. Right. So I can see that in this game.
Nice. Yeah, definitely going to be watching out for it. This is going to be epic. And I can't believe that we only have one day in between round one and round two. It really kind of puts it in your face. So looking forward to some of these round two matchups. Do you have anything that you have your eye on?
Yeah, I still have a couple more games in this round one for
Oh, shoot. I'm
today.
sorry, bro. Yeah, go for it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, because the round two games start tomorrow, which is kind of crazy. But something I like about the next game is it was UCF because I have two more, I believe. Yeah, it was UCF plus 6.5. So as I think Dent's expected to play for UCLA, and Bilodeau is questionable right now, which is huge. And I don't think he necessarily plays. And if he does, he'll be limited. He's probably their second best player next to Donovan Dent. He's their, like, I believe, leading scorer in general. And something I found interesting about UCLA is if you're not counting like the Big Ten tournament on a neutral court, they've won one game on the road in the East Coast, and this game is being played in Philly. And the one game they won was against Penn State, who is not a good team, as we know. Yes, that's close to Philly, but they just aren't a good East Coast team in general. And I think UCF, um, I'm not saying they play in a better conference, but they're a very big team, and UCLA struggles against big teams. We've seen them struggle against pretty big teams in general. So I just like UCF's 3-point shooting here, and just overall, I think UCF is just going to be able to out athlete them. And if you're going to give me 6.5, I'll gladly take 6.5 points because I think they'll be able to keep the game close.
Yeah, I'm with you. I put a quarter unit on this. This was on our bracket show. One of the leans that I had. No, not an official play, but I definitely did play it, and I'm going to be watching for it. I played both in my brackets, so either one who wins, but I hope that UCF at least keeps it close.
Yep, and then there was another one is Miami Florida money line. Not just because I don't like Mizzou as a KU fan, I just love this Miami Florida team, especially with their rookie coach Jai Lucas. And I personally don't think Missouri belonged in the tournament in the first place, especially with their resume that others had. In general, I think you could have put in like San Diego State, or you could have put in like Oklahoma or somebody. But I like Miami, Florida overall. I think they'll be able to control the pace. I know Missouri is a pretty big team, but I don't think they'll be able to score as much as we think they're going to score. And it's a battle of an ACC SEC matchup. But I personally just like Miami, Florida here. And then lastly,
Oh, real quick, that's an
oh
official
yeah,
play
sorry,
of mine as well. I have Miami minus one
yeah,
and a half at minus
awesome,
114. Got that on FanDuel. Absolutely love it. We talked about it on the show. I think we talked about it 3 times on 3 separate shows that Mizzou
yep.
is just shouldn't be here and expect them to crash hard.
Oh, 100%. I expect him to crash hard too. And I think it was Prince or you. They may have put Iowa on there, right? I believe.
Yeah. So, Clemson was also one of those teams that I wasn't so sure about here. Yeah, I took the Iowa minus 1.5 at minus 125 when it was available. I don't know what the line is right now, but I got that on ESPN. And yeah, I do think that this is another team that maybe people are either overrating or they just don't necessarily belong here. So definitely on the Iowa side.
I agree with you on the Iowa side, especially because they're going to have Bennett Sturt's probably the best player on the court with their coach Ben McCollum, who was at Drake the last 2 years with Bennett Sturt's. They got out of the first round both times. And also Clemson. I know we mentioned this a couple shows. They're missing their second leading scorer. The total is very like low, I think, as well. But it's basically both teams like to play slow, and Clemson's biggest advantage is playing slow, and teams don't want to play that way. But Iowa, they're the best team at that. Like they'll chew up all the clock, and they know how to run while chewing up the clock. They don't like panic shoot or anything. They know they have to play for 10 seconds left on the clock, 20 seconds on the clock. I mean, they have a play for 5 seconds left on the clock, and they just overall have the better offense. So when I see both teams have pretty equal defenses, I'm going to think who has the better offense. Clemson's offense is just very stagnant, and they take panic threes, and I just trust the best point guard on the field and on the court and Benny Sturts. But yeah, that's it for college for me.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday a lot where teams that are shoot panic threes just tend not to get back into the game, and then the other team's able to salt it away. I will say that I am on the over 130.5. That was a model play, and I think that is a nice hedge against Iowa minus 1.5 in any case. So either Iowa dominates and controls the pace of the game, or this is a little bit of a higher shooting game. And granted, 130 is not a lot of points in a college basketball game, so. I think this is a nice way to kind of get both sides of this one.
Well, because yeah, even a 73-60 game would hit or something like that. So
Yep.
it's
Yep.
not bad.
All right, just give us like maybe one or two games that you're looking forward to on round two, because we're not going to have a show probably tomorrow
Yeah.
or Sunday. So what kind of sink our teeth into now?
Yeah, so I know there's a few games officially set for round two. I think there's like 5 or 6 games set for round two. I know one of them I am definitely looking forward to is Vanderbilt. Nebraska is going to be a good game, in my personal opinion. I'm kind of leaning Nebraska here. It looks like Vanderbilt has been gaining steam. And then another game that'll be interesting to watch that we have is VCU Illinois. VCU is laying 11.5 Illinois. They just absolutely demolished Penn yesterday, especially Penn didn't have their best player. And then Texas A&M Houston. Houston's favored by 10.5. I expect Houston to possibly dominate. But my favorite game that I want to watch tomorrow would be Saint. It's gonna be the first game tomorrow. It's gonna be St. Louis, Michigan. St. Louis opened as 13.5 dogs, and they moved to 12.5 dogs. But I mean, I know Michigan's just a big and massive team, but St. Louis is a very methodical and gritty team, and they can shoot the threes. So, yeah, there's a lot of good games tomorrow. And like when I'm looking at these lines, they're pretty big lines, especially for tournament play. Because I know in the beginning, a lot of favorites didn't cover yesterday, so it's going to be interesting to see. Those are the ones that kind of like caught my eyes for tomorrow. Because I think all the games are set for tomorrow. So yeah,
Yeah. So here's my thoughts on this one. I'm going to take St. Louis with the points at plus 13. I think there's decent value there. I'm not saying Michigan isn't possibly one of the best teams in the in the tournament, but I do kind of expect them to be a little bit shakier, coming off just a dominant win. And St. Louis, we've been talking about them all year. They're a solid team. We saw that last night. They they won by what, 30 points? So
yep,
yeah, definitely going to be on the St. Louis side there. Not going to feel good about it, but I'm on their side. And then the other team that I'm actually on the other side of you on is Vandy. I think Vanderbilt is a better team than Nebraska. Nebraska's a little bit fraudulent. They got a really good round one matchup that allowed them to play well and dominate, but I think that they're going to struggle significantly against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt was actually one of the long shots that I was considering when we had that segment on our show. Just decided ultimately that it wasn't necessarily worth it. Their strength of schedule is going to be really tough should they move forward. But I like them to get the win against Nebraska here for sure. And it's only minus 1.5, which isn't bad. So that's going to be probably an official play. I have to kind of look into it. The other one that I'm really interested in is High Point versus Arkansas. I'm very curious to see what they can bring to the table after an insane upset against Wisconsin. Very upset that Wisconsin ticket got thrown out. But you know what? You're gonna let a team like High Point into the game and just play in a shootout environment. Anything can happen, and you can't really control it. It just no defense. Really, really bummed them out. All right, let's move into the NHL today. I have
Oh, I
Hey,
think
Mike.
Mike had his hand up.
oh, sorry, man. I can't see. Oh, there you are. Yeah, Mike, what's
Oh,
going on?
hey guys. I'm gonna make this super quick. I saw like Drew really stole my thunder, so thanks Drew for stealing all the facts that I was going to say. So I'm actually on the under of Clemson and Iowa. I think I got it like under 130, and I put it in on Monday and Tuesday. I just saw that they're both the slowest paced teams of play. I saw that from somebody. I don't know if they got it from Ken Palm or somebody else, but I just find it fascinating, and I think that's going to happen because, as Drew stated earlier, like Clemson's missing the second year school, and Iowa plays Iowa style basketball, and I've got a story on that later. I'll send you guys in the chat privately, but yeah, I just wanted to see, um, just put my opinion out there. So thanks for having me
Yeah,
on.
thanks for sharing. I definitely appreciate it. They are definitely two of the slower teams, and if Iowa gets up early, they might just salt this away with their defense. And yeah, I don't disagree with it. My play was purely based on a model that I follow, and I essentially blindly bet it, no matter what, as long as there's like 3 to 5 points of value on the line. But yeah, it's definitely a good look.
What did you get it at?
Let me double check. I think I got it at 130.5.
Okay, so it's dropped.
Okay, so
Yeah,
yeah, that would
no,
erase
it's
all the value on the line. Not worth playing the under.
yeah,
And I would
yeah.
probably lean the over if it's dropped at least 4 or 5 points.
No, it's only dropped to 129. It's only dropped a point.
Honestly, you might want to wait a little bit and probably get a better number. I have a feeling people are going to be on the under, the public, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My rule of thumb is also, I know this didn't happen, Mike, but one of my rule of thumbs is, right? Like, for example, if you like an over or an under and you see it go 3 points or more up and down, then bet the opposite. Because, like, we
yeah,
saw that yesterday, the Wisconsin
mhm,
game, it started off at like 165 and a half, and then it dropped to 162 and a half at game time, right? The game finished at exactly
yeah.
165 points. Vegas
165.
knows.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a really fun cash.
All
The
right.
fact that we cashed the over and the under and the side in that game. That was great.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. All right. Anything else in college basketball before we move on to the NHL?
No, nothing else. Of course, let's enjoy March Madness.
Yeah, this really is a great time of year. All right,
Oh,
NHL.
wait, actually,
Yeah, go
one
on.
more thing. Remember the tournament for the listeners, the tournament 10, sorry, the tournament 10 props, right? We had that I gave out for plus 1,000 on Fanatics. We had 6 lower seeds win yesterday over higher seeds. So that's the one good thing about the St. Mary's loss. So we just need 4 lower seeds to win today, and that can be a 9 over an 8 to cash the plus 1,000. So that'd be cool. But that's it from me. We can go to NHL.
It's a nice prop that we're hopefully going to cash on. All right, NHL Oilers. What a dud. Looking to bounce back today. I'm going to also choose a heavy favorite, but it is going to be a plus 160. And I think, Drew, you're going to like this. I'm going to take the Colorado Avalanche, who, again, we faded 2 days ago against the Stars, and they lost in a crazy close game. But we were on the right side of that plus 138. Now, I'm going to say that they're going to come out on fire here. They're desperate. Their playoff hopes are really kind of resting on the next few games. They're just falling behind over and over again. They've lost 4 of their last 5, but they're facing the Blackhawks, who are not necessarily a great team to start with when you're relying on only one star, but they're coming back-to-back games against the Wild from last night, and they traveled back home last night. There's one thing in hockey is that fatigue is a real thing on back-to-back nights. All right. That you're just going to look at the first period, first metrics. I'm going to take the first period and end of 60-minute line at plus 165. So they have to be winning at the end of the first period, and they have to win at the end of 60 minutes. And I think that this is a really solid play, especially for the price, because the Avalanche in the first period have scored 76 goals, among the top of the league, top 5, right? And while they're only giving up 52 goals in the first period, so they're pretty solid defensively. The Blackhawks on the other side have given up 60 goals in the first period and only scoring 49. And if you look at their metrics and their stats, that is a huge swing from top of the league to bottom of the league. I love Colorado to come out strong, to stay strong, and they're going to win handedly for the entire game. Yeah, this is just, they're facing a Blackhawk team that's sleepy, comfortable, and tired. So give me the Colorado Avalanche on the first period money line, win only, parlayed with the full game money line, win only. What do you got? Any thoughts on there?
So that's a 3-way, right? I like
Yes.
that. Yes, I like that a lot. Um, you know, something I will say, of course, yeah, the Avalanche are trying to, get in the top of the top, and they've been struggling. The crazy thing is, I'll say about Jake Ottinger the last game, he played out of his mind. He literally caught a puck in his sleeve. But that was very impressive. But yeah, I love that play by you. I think they need this.
They came out with, I mean, they played correctly the other day. You saw their defense. You saw that they were able to prevent high danger opportunities by getting the puck off the stick of the opponent's stick near their goal, their post. So I think that they're in the right frame of mind to really turn it around right now. And Chicago's not, again, it's not a great team. This is a perfect opportunity for them to turn it around. There were a few other games that I was looking at here, a few upsets actually. I almost sprinkled on plus 190 on the Toronto Maple Leafs against Carolina. I just couldn't get there. fully, but I think that the value of the underdog is there. If they win tomorrow, I'm going to kick myself that I didn't bet it. But I do like that line. And if you think that both teams score, then I think maybe the over is also in play. The other game that I was really interested in was Utah, Anaheim. I think Anaheim is a solid underdog here. Utah just yeah, they've won the last two against the Knights and Dallas, but they haven't been playing all too well all together all that well. And I think that Anaheim has a good underdog story kind of coming. Not going to get into it because we got to run through all of the other sports and picks, which I also have MMA here for the first time, bringing it, or second time, I should say, for the show. But yeah, let's get into basketball. Professional basketball, I guess. I don't know. I guess both of them are professional now that they're both getting paid for it. But yeah, I really, really like the Knicks against the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, what can you say? It's you're fading the Brooklyn Nets. Give me that any single day. And the other team that I'm focused on is Boston Celtics over the Memphis Grizzlies, which feels antithesis almost as a Knicks fan, being able to bet a Boston team and a New York team at the same time. But give me the Knicks minus 12.5 to just blow out the Nets, and give me the Celtics minus 6.5 to almost blow out the Grizzlies. I mean, again, Nets are the Nets, and the Celtics are playing the Grizzlies, who surprisingly beat the Nuggets, but have been absolutely horrible as of late. They have injuries. Even if Brown wasn't back, I would like them to kind of cover this game. Do you have any thoughts in the NBA or on this game specific?
No, nothing on my end specifically. I don't really have much today, especially since with March Madness going on and stuff. But while I was looking at the slate, if I liked any totals or any sides, the one I found interesting was I don't know if you mentioned it, the Warriors Pistons. I think the Pistons should cover, but yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting look. Cade Cunningham had a
Oh yeah,
collapsed
forgot about
lung.
that. Yep,
So that's
praying for
why
him.
you're seeing a minus 4.5. Now, I do tend to agree with you that there is value on the Detroit side. When there is an injury to a star player, the public fades that team heavily. We've seen this over and over again. But even just like the Warriors, honestly, like a few weeks ago when Curry was out, they stepped up, at least
Yep.
for the short term.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, okay, then I would personally probably stay away because you never know how they're going to respond. Usually, a Pistons, you would think a Pistons team, right? They're a gritty team, they would. But at the same time, though, I'll say this for K. This was a devastating injury. It's not just like an ankle or anything, but I'm praying for his health and his life. So I hope he's okay. So yeah.
Yeah, my dad had a collapsed lung. Not pretty. A lot of rehab. Hope he's all right. I do lean Pistons though. I do think that they're able to get the win and cover the 4.5. I think that they're a very deep team. Nothing to tell me in the Warriors side that they're ready to compete. Sorry, bro. It's
Oh,
just what I'm
you're
seeing.
Oh no, you're right, dude. Like I like because you know me, I'm unbiased when it comes to my team. Like I'll keep it as it is. Something I will say a bright side about the Warriors, I've been impressed with how Porzingis has been playing, and he looks like his normal self. I hope he can stay healthy. But you know what, Porzingis is playing better than I expected him to play because he looks like he's enjoying and having fun. He's smiling, and that's always good to see.
Yeah, when people are having fun and they're relaxed, I mean, I think this goes in any sport. It goes in golf, it goes in basketball, baseball. When you're relaxed and you're confident, that's when you play your best. Just it's non-negotiable. You need those things in order to play well. Not saying you can't. These guys have immense talent, but it definitely helps when you're able to kind of chill out a little bit. You're not so stressed. You're not worried about tweaking every single thing, every single position or whatever to try to get if you're a basketball, it's your shot, or if it's baseball, your swing. When you're just relaxed and swinging and doing what you do well, that's when you have real success. Really hope the Yankees can get there this year. Anyway, it's a different side point, which very excited, by the way, for
Yep,
this Thursday.
Yankees Giants.
Yeah, that's going to be great. That's going to be a great pitching matchup also, but we're going to get into that later. Very much looking forward to it. All right. I wanted to get into the UFC a little bit. I've been dabbling. I went 10-5 on my picks last week, and that included a few plus money plays. Plus, yeah. Anyway, and those losses include like a plus 440. So just saying,
I
like the 10-5 unit wise is a lot better than maybe it sounds like. But I was very excited by it.
I actually have
This is
UFC too. That'll probably make you happy, so you won't be alone. But you can go ahead.
You know what? I'll give it to you first, and I'll follow up
Oh,
with my pick
oh,
after. Go
sweet.
for it.
Because I know you've given UFC, and I either haven't like been here or stuff, but I love watching UFC. I love this fight night that's coming up. I like looking at personally, like like not necessarily good value plays, but like parlay pieces, but also singles, right? So some of my favorite singles that I like is, and that I usually like to give out main card. I don't do much prelims. If I do prelims, it's just laying a bunch of winners. But a play I like is Curtis Campbell versus Silva, right? I like the fight here to go the distance. Silva has seen 10 of his 12 career MMA fights go the distance, which includes 7 of his last 8 fights overall, and 4 of his UFC fights in general. And Silva has never lost by finishing his career. And even though Campbell has won most of his fights by finish, I think Silva can keep this to go the distance, in my opinion. And I like that play fight to go the distance in this aspect for this one. That's one of my plays that I like. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I like that a lot, man. I do. I took it similarly, a little bit different here. The way I saw it was nobody has elite experience here, so it's going to be interesting to see how they respond in this next level up. Silva's definitely the more powerful person, and he'll have the advantage on the feet. But he's going to have to protect against Campbell's attempts to make this a wrestling match and just go out all on grappling. Like most fights in this type of clash of styles, I tend to like the grappling unless the striker has really good takedown defense. I don't really see that so much, but I do think that both of them are going to be able to survive. I took Curtis Campbell money line parlayed with the over 1.5 rounds at minus 125. That's kind of how I took it, but I definitely see value on the model, especially for this to go to the cards.
Awesome. Yeah. I like that a lot too. And then another one that I like as well is I actually have an underdog pick. I love so it's Michael Page versus Sam Patterson. Michael Page has just been ever since he came in. He was an underdog and he started to become like a favorite. And Michael Page, Venom Michael Page, he's a very fun guy to watch. Like he was told when he went into the UFC that his unorthodox style like that is not going to work, where he just puts his hands down and stuff. But even though Page is a heavy betting favorite, Patterson has won all of his UFC fights by finish. He is also a more balanced fighter. He's like shown really good grappling capability ability compared to Page, and the best way to beat Page is to grapple him. And I think that Sam Patterson's overall good style, and he's a very composed fighter. I think he can possibly pull an upset. I think they're Patterson's plus 150, so I'm willing to put like 0.25 units on it.
Ooh, I put 0.5 units on this. I absolutely love this play. This is also another
Oh, awesome.
high model play. Plus 160 is where I found it on Caesars. And yeah, you're right. This is again a clash of styles. I talk about this a lot in my articles. The person who can grapple usually wins if the striker doesn't have a good takedown defense. It's hard to stay on your feet, right? And that's it. If you can't stay on your feet, the grappler is going to win most of the time. Getting a plus 160 number on this, I mean, this is just a steal. Page's takedown defense, by the way, is only at 66%. If he had even an 80% takedown defense, I'd be worried. So yeah, I definitely think that the value is on Patterson here, and I'm with you full heartedly or full throatedly. Not really sure.
Yep.
Too many
Well, we
coffees.
saw him. We saw him struggle because, like, the one fight he did lost was against Machado. We saw him struggle with that, and when he gets on the ground, he doesn't know what to do. He like, of course, acts like he does because he's a very funny guy. But I think the people that struggle against him are the strikers because he gets in their head. But yeah,
Yeah,
love that.
and at 38 years old, I mean, if he doesn't win early, the cardio might get to him against a much younger 29-year-old.
Oh, 100%. And I'd say my last one is the main fight. So this one, there's not necessarily like great value just on Evilif's. Even I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but his money line. But I like Evilef to win by decision here. I personally just like him better. He won all of his 9 UFC fights by decision and 12 of his 19 career MMA fights. Murphy does have the advantage of striking, but Evilef has a significant advantage in grappling, and we see in the UFC. We see in the UFC where grappling matters. And I think if Evil can get Murphy on the ground, Murphy is not a good grappler at all. And I expect Evil to control this fight. We've seen it before with the other fights. We saw it happen with the last main fight we saw. I forgot his name who did it. Oh my God, I'm blanking. But yeah, we saw with the last fight. We thought the other side was going to win. And then I can't believe I'm blanking on the name, but I like Evil Left by decision here. I don't think he submits him, but I think it goes the distance, but he wins by decision.
Yeah, this is 3 for 3, man, in lockstep with you. I took Eviliv money line parlayed with the over 4.5 rounds, which is basically the same thing as taking Eviliv by
Yeah.
decision. Minus 125 on Bet365. You're right. This is something that we've talked about. Murphy holds the boxing edge, but he has a 61% takedown defense, which is just not going to cut it. So yeah, this is just going to be over really quickly. It looks like the public's also on this play, so a little less excited to bet on it. That's why the number's so far gone, but I love getting the over rounds and the money line here. It's worked fairly well for me so far. And yeah, like you said, all 9 UFC matches for Evilov has gone to the cards. This is going to be a grinder.
Well, I figured it out. It was the Oliveira versus Holloway fight. Holloway is a similar thing. Holloway is a great striker. Murphy's a great striker. Oliveira was a great grappler, and we saw what happened. The
Yep.
grappling won.
Yes, we did. As long as they're willing to make it boring and not get signed again. All right. So I also took Evilov Murphy in a parlay piece with the over 3.5 rounds. And it's fun here because I'm taking the first fight and the last fight and I'm parlaying them together. So Evilov fight over 3.5 rounds. And I'm going to parlay that with Melissa Mullins, Luana Carolina, the first fight of the day. I guess it's 1 p.m. our time, Eastern. I like the fight to go the distance here. Carolina has the volume and striking, but again, Mullins has the advantage on the ground. The over is heavily juiced on the over 2.5. Seems extremely likely that this one is going to go to the cards. You can get that parlayed at minus 137 together on Bet365. I don't know. You said you don't really necessarily look at the prelims, but do you have any thoughts on that?
No, it sounds like it's good value though. Yeah.
All right, so I'm not going to give out all my picks because I want people to buy my premium subscription on my Substack, but I will say that I always release all my picks except for once in a while on a weekend, but I usually tweet them out anyway or put them on Discord or my chat. I always release the picks usually by 12 p.m. Eastern on Saturday so that everybody can read them. Because the fights are starting so early, I'm releasing them at 11. But starting in the middle with the Mario Pinto, Felipe Franco fight, you have 3 fights in a row where the projected ending is going to be a KO. So something to keep in mind there. I can't even pronounce all these names, but Tricoli, Kendra Tavicius, and Sutherland Patricius. These 3 fights are going to be epic bangers. You'll have to read the article for how I attack them, but I expect all 3 of these fights to end in KO, which is noticeably, considerably different from the rest of the fights where I actually kind of like the overs and I usually choose to be winning by decisions or money lines and stuff like that. So just something fun to look forward to tomorrow. All right. Anything else that we got to get to before we head out of here today?
Nope, nothing else.
All right, let's recap our best bets if you got them in front of you, and then we'll get on in here and have a great weekend.
Yeah, my best bets are Santa Clara plus 3.5, which is going on right now. And then UCF plus 6.5, Akron plus 7.5, and Miami, Florida money line.
Love it, love it, love it. Santa Clara, definitely a team to look out for. If I didn't mention it before, by the way, they are one of my futures at plus 30,000 to win the whole tournament. So definitely going to be on them, rooting for them. All right. In the NHL, I have the Colorado Avalanche first period win only parlay with the end of the 60-minute line win only. That's at plus 165. If you see a first period slash full game money line or something like that, that's the same thing. That's on DK plus 165. In the NBA, I have a 2-leg parlay. I got the Knicks minus 12.5 and the Celtics minus 6.5. That's at minus 115. We talked about the UFC a little bit. In the main card, Evolov, Murphy, I like the Evolov money line and over 4.5 rounds at minus 125. I'm also taking the over 3.5 with the Melissa Mullins, Luana, Carolina fight to go the distance. You can get that minus 137. The rest of the picks you're going to have to get. I only said them because our main man, Drew, had some picks as well, but definitely go listen to our podcast and look at the article for the full breakdown. All right. That's going to be it for the rest of us. Thank you guys so much for listening. Go like us on Spotify, on Apple, on YouTube. We're everywhere. Give us a rate. We've gotten a lot of nice feedback so far, and we definitely appreciate reading it. From me, from Drew, thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Can't wait to see you guys on Monday and see who's still in and if anybody still has a perfect bracket. Spoiler, you don't. The first 3 out of the first 4 games were all underdog upsets. So I doubt that anybody has, and I'd be curious to see if anyone does have those picks. All right. Have a great weekend, guys. Thank you so much. See you later.